JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, wanted men nabbed while attempting to vote. The police are reporting that 2 wanted men were captured yesterday as they attempted to cast their ballots. The police say one man who was wanted by the St. Andrews Central Police in relation to an April 2019 murder was nabbed when he turned up to vote in Augustown in the parish. Meanwhile, cops attached to the St. Mary Proactive Investigation Unit arrested a man wanted for 2 murders, one in St. Anne and the other in St. Mary. The man was held in Lewis Store in the parish. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Cops seized guns and ammo in Kingston 6. The police yesterday seized 2 firearms and several rounds of ammunition after responding to a vehicular crash on Palmoral Avenue, Kingston 6. Lawmen said that about 8:50 p.m., a team of officers responded to reports of a crash on Palmoral Avenue when they observed 2 men fleeing the scene and an injured man in a disabled Toyota motor car. The injured man was taken to the hospital where he remains in hospital under police guard. The police said the vehicle was searched and a bag containing 1 Taurus 9mm pistol with 6 rounds of ammunition and 1 9mm Beretta pistol containing 1 9mm round of ammunition were seized. Man shot and killed outside polling station in Middlesex, Hanover. The Lucy police are reporting that a man was shot and killed by armed men outside a polling station yesterday afternoon in Middlesex, Hanover. It appeared that the male victim, yet to be identified, had just cast his vote and was walking from the direction of the Middlesex All-Age School when 2 men traveling on a motorcycle rode up to him. The pillion rider brandished a handgun and opened fire, hitting the victim multiple times in the upper body. He died on the spot. Dozens of People's National Party PNP and Jamaica Labour Party JLP supporters were sent scampering in the heavy downpour, with several persons leaving the scene without casting their ballots. 7 accused in Tamara Geddes' murder remanded. The 7 people charged in connection with the murder of 36-year-old Tamara Geddes, who was shot and killed at her reserve Trelawney home in the presence of her 10-year-old daughter on Friday, June 19, were remanded when they appeared in the Trelawney Parish Court earlier today. The accused include her sister, 39-year-old Nadine Geddes, and her 2 daughters, 21-year-old Shanice Ruddock and a minor. A 4th woman, 33-year-old Tashana Young, as well as 55-year-old farmer Owen Irving, both of Hampton District, Salt Spring St. James, Brian Shelley and Rex Run Knott, both of Norwood St. James, are charged in connection with the murder. They are to return to court on Wednesday, October 14. Man killed during election celebration in Westmoreland. A man was stabbed and killed during election celebrations in Savlamar about 1:50 this afternoon. According to reports, a group of party supporters were gathered at a gas station located at Dunbar's River in the Westmoreland capital when an altercation developed between 2 of the revelers. People claiming to be eyewitnesses reported that one man was stabbed and the other chopped, which triggered a riot. Police were on the scene, fired multiple shots in the air to disperse the crowd, which ended the celebrations prematurely. The incident was confirmed by the Savlamar police, who stated that the man who was stabbed succumbed to his injuries, and the person with the chop wounds is currently being treated at hospital. No arrests have been made, the police said. The Jamaica Labour Party yesterday closed the general elections with a massive upset in the parish, walking away with all 3 seats and winning the overall election. Phillips leave as PNP hammered in polls. The devastating loss suffered by the People's National Party, PNP, in Thursday's national polls, held amid a severe coronavirus pandemic, has shattered the hopes and dreams of Peter David Phillips, whose quest for the prime ministership fell woefully short of the mark. Phillips had become the only president of the 82-year-old party to have been denied the opportunity of leading the country. The crushing defeat means the dawning of a new day for the PNP, with heir apparent Peter Bunting beaten by a newcomer to representational politics, leaving the party scrambling now to find someone to lead the organization. Poll after poll had forecast an embarrassing loss for the PNP, and despite trumpeting a list of promises in its manifesto, including the payment of utilities to the tune of $48,000 per year for 360 families across the country, the electorate was not swayed by the pledges and decided to keep the party in the political wilderness for a second term. In 2017, when Phillips was ushered into the presidency of the PNP, former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson gave him a charge to take the PNP to new frontiers and to retrofit its engines to attract the tremendous energy that is required of our time. Opinion polls in the run-up to the elections indicated that Phillips had personally struggled to attract strong support from the electorate, but more so the younger demographic. Before being trounced by the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, Phillips had said earlier Thursday that should the PNP lose at the polls, he would step aside both as opposition leader and a member of parliament for St. Andrew East Central. The PNP at one point was concerned about the health of Phillips and whether he would be in a position to lead the party forward. But Phillips was at pains to convince his colleagues that his diagnosis for stage 3 colon cancer was now behind him and that he was the man suited to challenge Holness. In an election where a huge spike in COVID cases became a cause for concern among the electorate, with many in a state of apathy, it wasn't surprising that only 37% of those registered to vote turned out on Thursday. This is a new record low from the 48% that voted in the 2016 general election. Speaking Thursday night at the PNP headquarters in Kingston, co-campaign manager Philip Paulwell said that blame should not be placed at the feet of any one person for the massive loss suffered by the party. He said that everyone in the party has to take responsibility for the defeat. Commenting on factors that may have contributed to the crushing loss, Paulwell highlighted the issue of party disunity and distrust. "We wish the government well. We wish the people well," he said. Having lost a number of seats to the JLP, Paulwell said that the PNP has the talent to rebuild the organization. "We have to wheel and come again," he said. Former Vice President of the PNP, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, said on Thursday night that most people are still in a bit of shock, so I think persons are trying to come to terms with it and exactly what that means and try to understand how we got to that point. She said that the PNP would now have to take a second look at the organization, at who we are and how we do things, and how we engage individuals on the ground, how we represent them, and champion the issues that are important to their lives. 2 more COVID-19 deaths and 74 new cases. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has reported the deaths of 2 more persons locally due to the coronavirus COVID-19. The island also recorded 74 new positive cases of the virus within a 24-hour period into Thursday afternoon. The 2 latest COVID-19 related deaths of an 81-year-old female from St. Anne and a 35-year-old male from Manchester. Both deceased had comorbidities, namely diabetes and hypertension. There have been 29 COVID-19 related deaths in Jamaica. The island has also recorded 1 additional case of a coincidental death of a person who was confirmed with SARS-CoV-2. This is a case that was previously recorded as a death under investigation. The case is a 56-year-old male from Clarendon. The 74 new positive cases recorded within the 24-hour period brought to 2,896 the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases. Of the 74 newly confirmed cases, 36 are females and 38 are males, with ages ranging from 12 to 76 years. They have addresses in Kingston and St. Andrew, 25, St. Catherine, 14, St. Thomas, 5, Manchester, 6, St. Anne, 1, St. James, 1, St. Elizabeth, 21, and Westmoreland, 1. All of the new cases are under investigation. There are currently 1,873 active cases being monitored, including 7 critically ill persons and 11 who are moderately ill. Recoveries are now at 921. Restrictions coming as Jamaica enters COVID-19 community transmission phase. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has declared that Jamaica is moving into a new phase of COVID-19 in the country, namely the community transmission phase. This, he said, followed meetings with the ministry's technical team and the Pan American Health Organization. The minister said this means the transmission of the virus can no longer be easily traced from one person to the other. The concern for the COVID-19 is now island-wide, the minister said. He was speaking at a digital COVID-19 press conference today. He said Jamaicans should assume that everyone they come in contact with has the virus and should take on the individual responsibility of wearing masks and following protocols. The minister noted that over the next 6 to 8 weeks, the population may see a steep rise in the COVID cases reported. He said more people are expected to seek medical attention in public and private institutions. Tufton said this new phase of virus spread may mean more effective measures to reduce spread of the virus to protect the vulnerable population. He said health teams are currently examining protocols and will issue new protocols soon. The minister said measures will be introduced as early as Monday, September 7, and could include increased curfew restrictions island-wide, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily, stay-at-home orders for the elderly, re-emphasis on work from home orders in the private and the public sector, and further tightening on restrictions on public gatherings. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.